Smash that subscribe button. Make sure to give us a thumbs up and like us on YouTube. This is a FarmBoys podcast with owner and founder of Copperhead Ag, Kevin Berg.
I'm humbled anytime anybody buys anything from us because they're spending their hard-earned money to buy our products and put them on their planter. And it's just, I want everybody to be happy, right? I mean, I want people to get a good quality product, put it on and look back and say, that works really good. And that's the most satisfying thing that a person can ask for.
What do you think the future of farming is in, say, the next 10 years?
When we first started doing farm shows, I remember we were just struggling getting people, all we wanted to do is just, if they try the wheels, they'll love it.
When you invented that spike closing wheel, you changed ag forever.
Does the innovation come from the team internally, or does it come from the outside?
I've never looked at it as an option to quit. So you just find a way, find something. We've got a couple new products that we're working on. We just absolutely hit that thing out of the water. So 2025, we should have 2 new products. I want everybody to be happy, right? I mean, I want people to get a good quality product, put it on and look back and say, that works really good. And the nice thing about our products is it doesn't matter if you're a corporate size farm or if you're a smaller farmer. There's a fit in the operation for all of our products. So
this is a FarmBoys podcast with owner and founder of Copperhead Ag, Kevin Berg.
So Copperhead got started back in about 2008, and really what it boiled down to is we had a machine shop, and we just expanded the machine shop, probably about tripled in size, and then the economy crashed. So we were kind of looking around, going, man, what in the hell are we going to do? And my cousin, who worked for some farmers back in my hometown, they had an idea of actually they had some samples of closing wheels for the corn planter, right? So they basically just sent me a picture and said, is this something that you could machine? And I said, well, yeah, we can do that. And so that's how the whole thing got started, with my, I guess, engineering background and some of the science and understanding of certain materials that I had. We were able to select the right material, and with our modeling software, we were able to basically create, what would take a larger company, a couple of years to do. We were able to do it in one spring. So we were able to design and manufacture 3 or 4 different types of closing wheels, and then that's really how it got started. Had we been busy in the machine shop taking care of our existing customers, we would probably never looked at it. But thank God we were slow and we really needed a project to work on. So honestly, that's how it got started.
When you invented that spike closing wheel, you changed ag forever. And that's what's so cool about being a part of Copperhead Ag. One little closing wheel on the back of a planter to put a very calculated, engineered spike, knob, whatever you want to call it, on the end, changed the way people farm everywhere. And I think that's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, it did change things, but when you think about how long we've been in business and how many we've produced, how many acres of corn and soybeans and other crops that we've planted, people using our wheels, I mean, it's millions and millions and millions of acres. So it's kind of cool. Okay.
So Kevin, if people want to find Copperhead Ag, where can they find you? Do you have a website? Do you have social media?
We've got the website, copperheadag.com, and we're on all the social medias, the TikToks, the Twitters, the YouTube, you name it. We have a presence there, and a lot of our local dealers have our products and have heard of us. So any of those options, talk to other farmers. We're easy to get a hold of.
Do you have customers all around the world, Kevin?
We do. Primarily it's in Canada and in the US. Just being well versed enough to deal internationally, that kind of takes a whole nother team. And so our primary focus has always been just on Canada and the US.
And then you mentioned your engineering background. Did you go to formal schooling?
Yep. Went to South Dakota School of Mines and Technology. I got a mechanical engineering degree. That's where I met my wife. She also has a mechanical engineering degree, and now my son, actually, he's going there as well, and he'll be a junior next year, also in mechanical engineering. So,
was your father or grandparents anybody engineers, or
Nope. Dad grew up on a farm. Pretty much the whole family was ag oriented, So my mom comes from a family of 13. There was anything from farming to construction to Navy to, a whole vast array of things. But everybody was pretty much small town and something to do with ag.
So you not only own and found Copperhead, but you're a farmer yourself.
Yep, we use everything that we make.
So knowing that you use everything that Copperhead produces on your farm, what are you most proud of that Copperhead offers, and it can't be the closing wheel?
We offer customer service and just good, honest, quality products. I'm humbled anytime anybody buys anything from us because they're spending their hard-earned money to buy our products and put them on their planter. And it's just I want everybody to be happy, right? I mean, I want people to get a good quality product, put it on, and look back and say that works really good. And that's the most satisfying thing that a person can ask for.
So, being a farmer, what do you think the future of farming is in, say, the next 10 years? And where do you see Copperhead playing a role in the future of farming? We'll say by 2034.
And that's quite a question. I certainly think the corporate farming is starting to gain traction.
Do you think we'll be ran by autonomous machines, tractors, combines, that kind of thing?
I think it's going to be a tool in the toolbox for sure. Will it be 100%? No, but I think it's going to be, just like anything, once it gains traction, I think it'll be 50 to 75% of what you're going to see out there. They're so close now. I mean, it's just a couple years away before it starts really gaining traction. So yeah, I mean, it's just going to be a lot different landscape. Evolution seems to be just picking up speed faster and faster and faster, no matter what industry you're in. So who knows what it's going to look like 10 years from now. But you're going to have, guys farming 10, 20, 30,000 acres, a lot more common than you see right now. So it'll shrink our customer base, but you'll still always have the smaller guys that are, and the nice thing about our products is it doesn't matter if you're a corporate size farm or if you're a smaller farmer, there's a fit in the operation for all of our products. So,
yeah.
Okay.
So if you had to start Copperhead all over again and you had $1,000, what would you do? For people who are going to watch this, they may not have a lot of money. They may not have means to somebody to give them a loan. You have $1,000. You have your idea. How do you do it?
I mean, it all starts with an opportunity, right? No matter how much money you have, you still have to have an opportunity to turn it into something. So I guess it's just matching that opportunity with what you have to work with and going from there. And that's really what we did. We had the opportunity to walk into the door, and we had the machines to make the prototypes and the design tools to design it. And that's how it got started.
Okay. So what is, in your journey from 2000, even back to 2003 when you started, or 2008 when Copperhead was established, what do you think the craziest thing is that's ever happened to Copperhead?
Meeting the right people and getting them to endorse the product. And then just getting a little bit lucky. We just found the right product that everybody was looking for, and then we made some key partnerships and just, point blank, it's just a lot of hard work too that went into it. So getting lucky along the way and just putting yourself in an opportunity to succeed and having a good, solid product that you can see and understand, and everybody just got it. So that was kind of the go-to there. When we first started doing farm shows, I remember we were just struggling getting people, all we wanted to do is just, if they try the wheels, they'll love it. So we started running the farm show special, and we would sell 2 rows at a very discounted price, and people just started biting on that. And then all of a sudden, that's kind of what really made it take off.
Kevin, I have a question. Growing up, were you the guy that was fixing everything when it broke down?
I was always involved in fixing. Yep, absolutely loved it. I'll never forget, like the first major project that I did was, we had an old manure spreader, and the whole, floor of it was basically rusted out and shot. And so we cut it all out, and then, like mom and dad took off somewhere. They're basically gone for a Sunday afternoon. And we worked under the light pole. That's where the welder hookup was. And, we worked outside. We didn't have a shop really to work in. And so, my uncle showed me how to basically burn holes through angle iron to put bolts and stuff through to bolt in a new floor. So I welded the whole frame in for the manure spreader, and then took the welder and blew all the holes in, and then laid the plywood in, drilled the holes, and put the bolts in, and did that all in an afternoon when the folks were gone and they didn't know what the hell to think when they got back in the yard. It's like, what in the hell did you just do? Are you sure it's right? I'm like, yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
Right. Was there ever times when you maybe thought about quitting Copperhead, or you didn't know if it was going to work out? And what kept you going?
Not necessarily Copperhead, but I mean, when we went through that slowdown with the machine shop in 2008, 2009, man, it was spooky. It was literally me and one other guy in the shop, and we kept it 50 degrees and we turned half the lights on, and I was just quoting anything I could to get in the door. And we were lucky enough or smart enough or whatever to, I mean, we never spent our money, right? We always reinvested in the business. And so our AR was enough to get us a good stockpile of cash to kind of weather the storm. And then when we did finally start coming out of it, we ran into a very, very good banker who gave us a line of credit to, start buying raw materials and things like that to start, climbing back out of this thing. But yeah, I mean, honestly, I've never looked at it as an option to quit. So you just find a way, find something. Thankfully, we're in a position to do that. But yeah, I guess just never occurred to me to give it up.
Off of that, we're in a tough time right now, just in the economy overall. Obviously, the ag equipment industry has taken a big hit. John Deere's laid off over 2,000 people. Everybody's kind of feeling it. What are your thoughts on the downturn in the ag economy? And what do you think it's going to take to get us up back and going to normal, if there is such a thing, or average?
Well, it's obviously going to take a turnaround in free cash flow for all farmers. I mean, the commodities got to come up. Yeah, I mean, it's ugly. It's kind of the first time we've ever experienced kind of a double whammy where the ag side is down, and on the other side of the business we have the machine shop. So that side has experienced a little pressure too. So it's just being as conservative and smart with your money as you can. So everybody's got to tighten their belt and keep working through it. But at the same time, you got to balance out your sales efforts and make sure that everybody knows you're out there, and you can't just crawl in a hole and wait it out. You still gotta be pursuing it, and you still gotta make the right moves there, because when things do come back, you want to be top of mind and be ready to serve the customers.
So something else that's kind of notable, not necessarily a question, is that Copperhead Ag seems to be expanding while everyone else is contracting. I'm assuming there's a reason for that.
Well, it's because we're conservative and we keep plenty of dry powder, right? So yeah, we've increased our sales efforts. We've got a couple new products that we're working on. So we're still working it from both fronts, and you have to take advantage of these slower times to fine tune and figure out what's working, what's not working, and just continue to, everything's under a magnifying glass when things get slow. When everything's going good, man, it's all working. But, you got to use these times to be smarter, better, and come out of the other side just a more well-oiled machine and keep plugging forward.
How many, when you introduce a new product, how often do you introduce a new product, Kevin?
Not as often as we'd like to, but it's every couple of years we'll release something different, and it's always so especially after the Furrow Cruiser, we just absolutely hit that thing out of the water. And so in my mind, I'm always trying to judge that and compare it to that, and part of it is like, man, you're not going to hit freaking grand slams like that every time. And so for me, it was kind of a mind shift change to just take smaller bites, and you don't have to have a product that's going to take the world by storm. You just have to continually introduce new products, and as a whole, that keeps the business moving.
I had another question, but it slipped my mind.
But it's stressful to release new products, because once you turn it loose, man, all eyes are on it, and obviously with the way the internet is, and how many influencer out there. I mean, word travels fast, good, better, otherwise.
Does the innovation come from the team internally, or does it come from the outside with people in the ag industry coming to you saying, I wish there was something that did this, or I wish this machine worked better in this way? Like, does it most often come internally or from you working with people outside that need something different?
You never know where it's going to come from. We've got dealers that tell us, man, if you had this, we'd sell a bunch of them. I learn things every year when I'm out there farming and working with the product and going through the same struggles that everybody else is when it's not working. You're always trying to find a solution, right? Well, at least we're in a position. We have a machine shop and engineers to work on a solution and try and come up with one. The sales guys, they're always quizzing people. Sometimes you can walk by a new idea and say, that's a really good idea, but if I just did one more thing, it'd be even better. So you just never know. You're always keeping your eyes open and asking questions, and hopefully you come across something that's going to connect.
So, do you know how many new products you're looking to launch in, say, 2025, this new year?
So 2025, we should have 2 new products. So that actually be a pretty big step for Copperhead. We're a little conservative on the R&D and but I think we're getting better. We trudged along, for quite a while with just the furrow cruiser and the closing wheels. But as we expanded and bought the different companies, the RK products and the Concaves, and also the row cleaner business, Sunco, that just multiplies the opportunities that are out there. So we're pretty excited. I think it's only going to get easier as we streamline the process to product development. I think it's going to become routine for us. So looking forward to seeing what happens here.
So something that's, interesting, your products have been ripped off numerous times. You invented the first spike closing wheel, and then somebody decided to come in, Yetter, and put a twist on it to get around the patent. And now there's spike closing wheels galore because of that shenanigan. And then you have other products like concaves, where people try to rip off that design as well, and have ripped off that design. How do you combat that in the future? And what's your message to people out there who are trying to do something like you've done and want to protect it? Is it possible? What would you tell folks?
Oh man, gosh, I don't know. So we weren't the first spike closing wheel, but we were certainly the first one of our kind.
Okay.
And then it's always kind of humbling that everybody's trying to copy you to try and get market share. I guess the big thing, there's always going to be copycats, and there's always going to be people. The more success you have, the more people that are going to try and copy. And I think what gave us a chance, to sustain that and to continue to do what we do is we just always had great customer support and customer service, and people trust us. So, we deliver a full package or a full experience for either the farmer or the dealer or whoever we're working with, right? And so we've gained their trust. So when somebody, comes in and just knocks something off, that's one product that they have. Well, how much credibility are they going to have? So it just running a sound business is gonna gain you market share and probably protect you from some of the knockoffs that come about. You can try and patent something till you're blue in the face, and you're still going to miss something, and somebody could think of something to get around it. So just develop good relationships with the people you're doing business with. That's what it boils down to.
So one last thing here on that. Another thing that's definitely noteworthy on here is all of your products are made in the USA. And that is something I know you take great pride in. How is that an advantage for you?
We control our own destiny. Everything, we have about 80% control internally of everything that we make. And then we rely on a couple of key vendors to supply the rest of the components to us. But to have everything sourced the way that we do, we can respond to changes in demand rather quickly. And just manufacturing in the USA, there's nothing better. It has such an impact, a magnifier of activity that it generates, as far as jobs and money flow and just there's a trickle down effect that's hard to explain. But manufacturing has always been been a key part of the U.S. economy and history, and it's a big part of why we are what we are today.
Is the primary source of or channel of marketing through dealers?
Yes, right now it is, and we're always adjusting to that. We're seeing some real headwinds in some regard to the dealers, where they're being governed by corporate people up the chain, and so they're not allowing the individual dealers to stock certain things. So, our main objective was to cater to the dealers. But it's an ever changing world out there. So, we're always looking the best way to get, ultimately we want the farmers to use the product because we think they can benefit from it. So whether it be through dealers or direct sales, we're always trying to figure out that balance of what channels work the best to get the product in the farmer's hands.
Yeah, I'm going to shift gears just a little bit too. When you're not working in the business, thinking about the next great, part or machine to build, when you're not on the farm, what do you like to do when you have some free time?
Play a round of golf. That's really about it.
Chris, that's right. Wasn't Kevin going to come out and play with us?
Yes, he was in the Gino Morgan Foundation tournament, but he tore his calf or pulled his calf.
Yes, playing pickleball. I completely blew out my calf playing pickleball.
Do you play quite a bit of pickleball?
No, that was probably about my second time I've ever played it, and that's what put me on the IR for the.
Have you always golfed, Kevin?
Yeah. I probably started when I was a sophomore, junior in high school.
Okay.
And then there's probably 4 or 5 years where I didn't do hardly any of it, but it's pretty steady now.
Hey, it still can be really fun.
Yeah.
Are you a golfer, Logan?
I'm a bad golfer, Kevin.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's still fun.
I grew up playing a lot of the other sports, kind of the traditional sports, baseball, football, basketball, ran a little bit of track. Never really golfed much. I messed around a little bit in high school, but
yeah, I've got similar background. Did basketball, football. I did track for 2 years, and the only reason I quit is Dad offered me to put a CD player in my car if I stayed home and helped him put the crop in the spring. Our track season was in the spring.
Yeah, same with ours.
That was an easy decision there. So I got a $200 CD player put in my car, and got to drive tractor and farm. So it was a win.
That's awesome.
So, Kevin, something we like to do on here, and I want to do it before we run out of time, we do a lightning round. So I'm just going to fire off questions to you fairly quickly, and you can just answer in 1 or 2 words. Not meant to be explanations or anything like that, but these are just, we started it, 4 or 5 podcasts ago, and it seems to be well viewed, so we're keeping it going. So I'll just fire off a bunch of questions, and you just give me the first answer that comes to mind. Doesn't have to be thoughtful, we're just going here. So are you ready?
Sure.
All right, so here's the FarmBoys podcast lightning round with Kevin Berg, owner and founder of Copperhead Ag. First question, what's your favorite crop?
Corn.
Favorite tool on the farm?
Hammer.
Your childhood dream job?
Lifeguard.
Okay. One thing you can't live without on the farm?
Tractor.
Okay. Biggest challenge in agriculture today?
Money.
Copperhead Ag in 1 word.
Awesome.
Most important quality in a team member?
Honesty.
What's your favorite tractor brand?
John Deere.
Your dream vacation destination?
Golf resort.
If you weren't in agriculture, what industry would you be in?
Manufacturing.
Okay, a couple more here. 1 word to describe farming.
Challenging.
Most important value in life?
Integrity.
1 word of advice for young entrepreneurs?
Work your ass off.
The last one, what drives you every day?
New opportunities.
Okay, well, that is by far the best result of a lightning round we've had, because usually people want to explain their answers every time.
Besides the lifeguard, I don't know where the lifeguard comment came from. I've really never wanted to be a lifeguard.
That's okay. You answered it correctly. So
Hey, you answered it with confidence. I just
you
figured
did. I was like, I didn't know you were a swimmer.
I just figured
Actually, I'd have to say probably pilot. So I'll go back on that one. I'll say pilot.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
I thought you were going to say something in my mind when you paused. I thought you were going to say something in mining.
Oh, no, mining is boring. I worked at a quarry one summer, a rock quarry, and so they basically turned big rocks into small rocks, right? So I sat in a big Caterpillar dump truck, and I drove up and down the same hill for literally 10 to 12 hours a day. And that was one of the times where, anytime anything would break, we would be able to get out of the pickups or out of the trucks and go help fix it. And it's the only job I've ever quit in my entire life was that driving that truck. I couldn't stand the boredom, and it was just awful. So I'm not a big fan of mining.
So what do you think is the best way to inspire either team, your manufacturing team, your sales and service team, to stay motivated during tough times?
Well, it's the sales team. They have to believe that they're working for an organization that supports them and is behind their efforts. And so just giving them that groundwork and supporting them in what they do and making them understand how important it is to the success of the company and the workers that build and stand behind the product. I think we've done a pretty good job of relaying that message, just making them aware how big of an impact that they could have. It's not just one person. It trickles all the way down the line. So that should be motivation enough. And if it's not, then we probably got the wrong person hired. So
what do you think is a single, number one, most important leadership lesson you've learned while building Copperhead Ag?
You always got to listen. You got to listen and try to be aware of what's going on. Sometimes that's hard because there's sometimes too many filters before it gets to me, but trying to just understand what's working for people and what's not, and listening and admitting when you're wrong and trying new things, trying other people's suggestions and just working as a team. Listening is key.
So as an owner, and you're obviously very involved in the business, how do you balance when you decide to lead from the front or when to take a step back and, let the team take charge?
I am all about stepping back and giving ownership to the individuals that are doing the work. Just watching, observing, and then being there to support them. I want nothing more than to have people succeed, and I will do everything I can to help them or steer them any way I can. And I will not micromanage. It's just number one, I'm not good at it, and number two, it just drives people crazy. So give people the freedom to own their job, and most people always want to do the best job that they can, and so you just got to foster that and let them go. So
when you face a major business decision, do you have a process for making the right call? If you have that process, I guess, what is it? How do you get from here's my big decision to here's the answer?
I try to think about it from as many different aspects as I possibly can, right? And then talk to key people in the organization, and then ultimately I talk it over with my wife. That's what's been working so far, and so I don't anticipate that to change. So usually when I need help making a decision, I will reach out for help. And just it's good to hear other people's opinions, and you gotta trust the people you're close to, and it's just nice to have that group of people to lean on.
So how do you balance taking risks versus being more conservative? Because you've talked about how conservative you are, and it's led to a lot of success. But also, with acquisitions, there's risk in that. So, what's behind your thought process in, do I take this risk, or do we stay conservative here?
Financial position. That's really what it boils down to. You can roll the dice a little bit more when you're in a sound financial position. So it's really, there's nothing worse than financial stress. And so once you eliminate that, then you have options.
So along that same line, have you taken a risk when things were not financially great?
Nothing really. No. Honestly, we really haven't. We learned that lesson early on, back in 2008 when we started the machine shop, and like I said, we basically doubled or tripled over size, or in size in several months, right? And so we bought new equipment, and even our projections were if things go to 50%, we'll be great. Well, things dropped to about 10%, and so we were in some. We never relayed anything, but we could feel the pain coming. And so, we just never really wanted to go through that again. And so we've always just kept ourselves in a good operating position not to have to worry about that, because it makes you make short-sighted decisions, and you don't have flexibility. So
Yeah.
one of the things going through this whole process is don't be afraid to ask questions. To your peers or to the people that you look up to, they're usually more than willing to help and be a part of it in a way. I would love it if people came up to me and asked, especially if they're just getting started, a lot of the questions that you were asking tonight. So I've always said that my biggest dream would be to help all of my kids start something. I don't care what it is, but that's always been and still is just one of my dreams. If I could help each one of them start something, that'd be the ultimate goal for me.